This is so complicated.
Yeah.
Well, you want to go down the rabbit hole?
Yeah, let's go down another one. Let's
Okay.
pretend we're in the
Well,
Area 51
just in the last 10
elevator.
minutes, you guys have mentioned 3 things that ties into all of this. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
You'll understand the relevance of this, or why I feel I need to tell you all of this stuff to tie into these discussions, because it's part of how all this evolves. When I was 2 or 3 years old, my dad died when I was 2. I promise I'm not gonna, like when the earth cooled, and tell you the whole story. Okay. My dad died when I was 2. Somewhere between the time of 2 and 3, I have memories, I have a few memories of being 2 years old. Just a few. I mean, just little infant memories. But I have a very distinct memory of whenever I was between the ages of 2 and 3, and it went on for probably until I was about 9 or 10, I guess, somewhere in there, where as a child I would have this dream. And I would have it, when I was little I had it more often, and it just slowly started going away. Like now I have it, I mean I don't think I've had it since I was probably 9 or 10. But I would have it several times a month whenever I was an infant. And I would tell my mom about this dream, and it freaked her out. And the dream was this. In the dream, I'm in space and I'm floating, like in my body, I guess. I'm floating in space, and there's stars. And down below me over here, I can see this silver disc object. And so I look at the disc, and then I go, and then I'm inside the disc. So now I'm standing in the disc, and it's flying through space. Control panel, there's a guy sitting at the control panel. Looks to be 45-ish, white hair, short haircut, wearing like a satiny white tunic with like a rope belt, sandals, so very, kind of an old outfit, if you will, but just real comfortable flowing.
Greek?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. It wasn't a toga, but it kind of looked like that. It was. And the guy's sitting at the panel in this position, with his hand on a dome that's on the panel of the craft. And there's a viewing portal or whatever right in front of him here. So now I observe the inside of the ship. I observe the guy, and then the perception shifts again. Goes, and now I'm the guy. I'm him sitting at the control panel.
And what's with the hand thing? What's happening?
The hand's controlling the ship. When I touch the panel, there was no buttons per se. It was all very smooth and simple looking. But when I touch this dome, then and at 2 or 3 years old, now you got to imagine how much this freaked my mother out. At 2 or 3 years old, I understood that when I touched that, it linked the ship to my mind, and when I did that, the ship felt like it was an extension of me. I could feel the ship as if it was an extension of my body.
Have you heard my lecture on, my consciousness lecture on flying the ship?
Apparently not. Which just makes this even better. No, I haven't actually. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Okay, so
A lot of
now,
resonance in this room.
this is why I had to talk to you guys. Okay, so I'm flying the ship, and I know that if I'm thinking, I think it goes where I want to go. Outside of the portal, there's a planet coming into view. Okay, the perception then shifts again, where I'm not at the ship anymore. I'm sitting in a meeting room, oval-shaped table, beings of different planets sitting around the table. Whenever I was sitting down there tonight, and she was telling that story,
yeah.
I was trying not to just go like,
oh,
holy shit, here we go.
Exactly.
Okay, sitting around this table, and it was, I think there were more at the meeting than what she talked about, maybe a dozen or two beings, whatever. And a presence comes to the meeting. Presence, a non-physical being, it was a presence.
Yeah.
And it is asking us to, we need you to go to Earth and be born there and be part of this project.
Okay.
And we're like, no fucking way, we're not going back to Earth. Okay? And so then the consciousness of the entity, whatever it was, this presence, so let me show you why. And then we were shown at close up, like we like mentally went to a nuclear explosion, and we witnessed testing of a nuclear bomb. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I totally get it.
And the whole point of this was, like, look, you've got to know how bad it's got down there, okay? You've got to go down and help fix this. It's bad. Nuclear power, very bad. And experiencing, and whenever I was a child, it's not as bad now, but whenever I was a kid, anytime I would see film footage of the nuclear tests, I couldn't handle it. It was very, very disturbing. And kids love things blowing up. So it makes no sense. Oh, big explosion. I'd be like, no, I'd just be like,
Yeah.
angered. So ultimately, the short version of this story is everybody went, oh, all right, we'll go back to Earth. And so, I mean, I don't remember like being born here, but that was this dream, and it was the exact same dream with the same details. I had it hundreds of times when I was a kid. And I would, you imagine a 3-year-old, I would tell my mom, Mom, I had that dream again last night. She's like, oh shit, gave birth to some little fucking weirdo here, you know? Okay.
Forrest, do you remember if you recognize any of the beings around the table in relationship to what we've all been trying to understand?
Not really.
Like reptilians, blondes.
No, and I'll tell you
blues,
why.
gray.
Because at the time, I had no points of reference. If there was a lizard sitting there, it wouldn't have meant anything to me. It was just another being. You know what I mean? I don't remember. I just know that some of them looked human, some of them didn't.
Did you see any Talsetians?
Well, I don't know. See, it was really. Think of it more like this: like I was suddenly present. So the dream obviously is a remembering, at least to me. I've come to understand. I know this is a remembering. Okay. So when my presence shifts to being in that room, it becomes all about the presence there that's communicating to us that we need to go back and be part of this thing. You know, we weren't like chatting and going, hey, how you been? How's things on your planet? You know what I mean? It was just, it'd be like looking around a room going, oh, there's some high level brass here. And then you just kind of go on, you know, with the business. So I don't really have that kind of detailed memory of the meeting part, except for
The mission.
experiencing this nuclear explosion, and then basically everybody, I get the feeling that it had to be, at least for our group, it had to be unanimous. And everybody decided to go, okay?